Hi everyone and welcome. We're going to be doing a 20 minute for your hips and your hamstrings, mostly stretching. It's going to feel great. We're going to start standing today. Grab your yoga block or anything that replicates a yoga block, just in case you can't touch your fingers towards the ground when you stretch. So just place it right there on the ground. So we're going to go forward. Try to bring your fingertips touching the ground or as close as you can get, but actually I want everybody, whether you can touch or not, to bend the knees. Fingertips to the ground. And then as you exhale, I want you to stand back up to straight legs, but think about pushing your tush up towards the ceiling rather than straightening your legs. So tushy up, tushy up, tushy up, tushy up, drop your head. And then bend your knees. And once again, just think about reaching those hips towards the ceiling. If your fingers come up off the floor, you can move them to your yoga block and then relax the head. Bend your knees once again. And lift those hips up, 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 up. Relax the spine, hang out there. And if you can, lift your toes. Keep reaching your hips high. Hold it for another breath or two. And then bend your knees and come back up. All right, now lay down on the mat. Grab your strap for your resistance band. And we're gonna do the hamstring stretches laying down. Loop your band around your right foot, reach that right leg up high. Square your hips, flex your foot. Lengthen your left leg out long on the mat. And hang out here and breathe. Try to just soften into that stretch, let it go. And start making some nice tiny movements back and forth, in and out. You'll feel how that stretch sort of changes through the back of your thigh. You might even get some stretch in your calves. And then find the place somewhere in center and press the ball of your foot up towards the ceiling. And then flex the foot more. And then press and flex. And now keep your foot in the pressed position and circle your ankle. Or at least make the closest shape to a circle that you can. And reverse it. And then bring that foot to center. Open this leg out to the side. And then externally rotate the leg. So actually the knee and the foot are gonna start spiraling down so they're facing the mat. But the spiral comes from the hip joint. And then unspiral and spiral. And then bring that leg back to center, cross your leg over your midline, keeping that right hip heavy on the ground. And bring that leg back up to center, reach through that heel one more time. And then bend your knee and shake that leg out. Place it down long right next to your left leg and notice if they feel like they're different lengths. So if they do, don't worry, we're gonna do the left leg now. Loop the strap around the ball of your foot and reach up nice and high. Square those hips and try to relax your shoulders as much as you can. And then you can start making your little movements in that leg. Forward, back, left, right, up, down, in, out. And bring that leg to center. Flex and press. Flex, press. Keep that next press position and try out your circles on this ankle. And reverse it. And then cross this leg, or actually open this leg out to the side. Keeping the right hip down. And once you get out to a good stretch, externally rotate in the hips so your knee and your toes start pointing down. And then undo it. And then externally rotate and then release. Bring that leg back up to center, cross your midline again. Stay heavy in that left hip. And then bring that leg back to center, bend your knee. And shake out your leg as soon as you get it out of that strap. Shake out that leg and then lengthen it down long. Make sure those legs match. All right, moving on to your blanket or very large towel or couch cushion. You want something to put underneath your pelvis to get those hips up higher in the air. And the higher you are within reason, the better the stretch will be. Pull your right leg in towards you, lengthen your left leg out away from you. And due to the height in our hips, not only will we get a right stretch in the back of our right hip, but we'll also get a stretch in the front of our left hip. So just pull that right knee towards you, reach that left leg away, connect the left heel to the floor, and hang out there. Open this right knee over towards the right shoulder. And then hug this right knee over towards the left shoulder. Hug that knee right to center again. And then release. Let's try the other leg. Right leg reaches long, connect that heel to the floor, and then pull your left knee in. And hug your left knee over towards your left shoulder. And hug that left knee over towards your right shoulder. Hug that knee to center one more time. And release that leg down. Put your feet on the floor. Push your hips up towards the ceiling, slide that blanket out from underneath you, and roll over to your side. Let's go to the right side so we're all together. So your bottom leg can be wherever it wants to be. The top leg, we're gonna bend it and then try to grab your foot, your ankle, your pants, anything you can grab a hold of. Make sure that knee is just as high as your hip. You don't want the knee higher or lower. You want them to stay in line with each other. And then flex your foot. Now you might get a stretch in the front of your leg here, but if you want to go deeper and your knee is okay with that, bring your leg slightly behind you. Keep the foot flexed, that'll help the knee. And if at any point you feel pressure or any kind of discomfort in the knee, then back off. Yeah, we'll just hold it for another moment or two. And release. Roll over to your other side and we'll do the same thing. This side might be different, so move into it slow. Make sure the knee and the hip are the same height. Flex your foot. And then if you can go deeper into the stretch, just bring that knee behind the hip. So moving that leg back behind you. And then release it. Press yourself up to sitting. If you have super tight hamstrings and sitting like this just feels like the worst thing ever, or the worst thing that we're going to be doing, go ahead and take your blanket and sit on top of it so you get your hips elevated a little bit. And that should help get your pelvis in a more neutral position, which will allow you to be a little bit more comfortable, which will also allow you to stretch the hamstrings better. Take your hands by your side and then press the hands into the floor as you lengthen up. Now, if you're up on a blanket, you can have your hands there. So press the hands down, lengthen up your spine, nice and tall. And then as you exhale, dive up and over your lap, sliding your hands down towards your feet. So you're getting a nice round spine. We want to look for the most consistent roundness we can find. So nice and consistent from the tailbone up through the head. And then stack your spine up, one vertebrae at a time. Hands to the floor, push into your hands to get nice and tall. And then spine stretch forward. And stack it back up. Press up tall. And spine stretch forward. 2 more times. Remember to dive up and over that lap so you get the length before you start stretching. One last time. And back up. Come on up to hands and knees. Place your blanket up towards the top of your mat. And then hands on the floor. Walk one foot back and then the other so you can press yourself up into a downward dog position. So your hips are high in the air, your body's making a triangle. And then try to reach your heels as close to the ground as you can get them. And then bend your right knee, press your left heel further down. And switch. And switch. Keep going. One more switch to each side. And then press both heels down as far towards the floor as you can get them. And come on down to your knees. Take your right foot forward in front of your hands and then walk the right hand to the inside of that foot. Start walking your hands out towards the top of your mat You're straightening in that left leg, bending in the right knee a little bit more. And then you can either hang out here, or you can come down to 1 or 2 elbows. And you can have your elbows on the blanket or on the floor, just depending on how far into the stretch you can go today. Try to relax through the shoulders. Let the head just hang out where it wants to be. And then press your hands into the floor to push yourself back up to hands and knees. We'll do the other side. Woo. So left foot forward, both hands on the inside of that foot. Walk forward. Stretching in the front of that right hip. And then you can stay here, or you can come down to 1 or 2 elbows, whether you're on your blanket or not. And 1 more deep breath. And then press your hands into the floor to come on back. All right, we're gonna lay back down on the back now. And you can have the towel up towards the top of your mat for a pillow. Cross your right ankle over your left knee, pull that left knee towards you. And then flex and point. Flex, point. Keep going. And now circle both ankles. And reverse the direction. And then you can let the feet stop moving. Take your hands out of your way, keep your legs in the same shape, but then drop your right foot down to the floor on your left side. And try to keep your right shoulder heavy on the ground. That's going to give you a little twist in your spine, a little bonus here. And then if you feel like your right hip, the back of the hip can take more stretch, gently pull your knee towards you, your right knee that is. Pull it towards you. You'll feel that really stretch the back of that right hip. And then as long as the hip and the knee are okay with it, you can push that knee away from you, opening the front of the hip up. And let's go ahead and release. Try the other side. So left ankle over the right knee, pull that right leg in. And once you get a good stretch there in the back of the left hip, you can flex and point. And then ankle circles. Reverse. And let those feet be still. Take your hands out of the way and bring your left foot down to the floor on your right side. Try to open your chest towards the ceiling so you can get that left shoulder blade on the ground. And then bring that knee closer and closer towards you. Go slow so your body can tell you when it's had enough of a stretch. You definitely don't want to cross the line over into a strain. And then if you'd like to try it, press that knee away from you. And release it. Press yourself up to sitting for one more stretch before I let you go. So ideally what I want for all of you is to be able to sit in a very comfortable cross-legged position for all the days of your life. So that's where we're going with this. So bring your feet, if you can, bring your feet touching, the soles of your feet touching. Make sure the big toe mounds are glued together, little toe mounds are glued together, and then the entire heels are glued together. Hold on to your ankles. Inhale, and then you're going to extend your spine up towards the ceiling and the back behind you. And exhale, curl inward. Inhale, extend. And exhale in. 2 more times. Inhale, open up. And exhale, close. We're going to end on an inhale. Inhale, open. Stay there, nice and open. You can bring your spine more into a neutral position though. And then try to bring your knees just a teeny tiny bit closer to the floor. You can even press on them a little with your hands. And then release. Let's try that again. Try to open them just a little bit more. And release. 2 more times. And last one. Good. Release your legs out long in front of you and shake them out. So your homework, till I see you again, is to pick one of those stretches we did today, your favorite one, and try that once a day until I see you, and let me know how it goes. If you have questions, just send me an email, and otherwise I'll see you next time. Bye.